Hey y'all, and welcome back. I hope you all are staying warm in your neck of the woods because I know here in West Virginia it is frozen and cold. My kids missed all week last week due to snow and ice, so I hope you all are warm. But let's get right into today's video. We are working on a 30-ounce straight from the Tumbler supply store. I knew I was going to be adding this vinyl to the center of the tumbler, so I only focused the spray paint on the top and the bottom portion. And this vinyl I got from Kimberly Hobbs. I will link it down in the bottom description. It's technically, I think, considered a Christmas pattern, but I really wanted to turn it into not necessarily a Valentine's Day pattern, but something related to not Christmas. But I fell in love with this pattern. I love the grungy, the distress look, and that turquoise is beautiful. I love turquoise with the red. It was just so pretty that I had it in my cart forever, and then finally just was like, I have to order it. So that's where that came from. And I didn't measure, I just cut a big chunk and then applied it to the tumbler, and I lined it up the best that I could and then applied it using the hinge method. And then you're going to see here I trim off this little section where it overlapped. Don't worry about that little scratch. I'm going to be covering it up with glitter, so you're not even going to notice that. But you can see right there that corner lifted. I think it's because I spray painted in the cold, and even though this spray paint was dry, it just wanted to lift right after I put up that vinyl. So I'm going to show you how I fixed that later. But in the meantime, we are mixing up some custom glitters. I took these 3 glitters from Diamonds and Dust and just kind of mixed them, 2 scoops of each. I'm trying to mix them to match this foil the best that I can, and I felt like all 3 of those glitters mixed together was the perfect blend. And then I guess I didn't show it, but I just cut another section of this pattern vinyl and laid it right over that seam to kind of help hold down that area that was lifting. And then I'll show you again what I do a little bit later to really confirm that it's going to stay put. So I taped off the edges of the vinyl, and then I applied some Crystalac glitter glue, and then when I'm aiming this glitter, I'm literally aiming it right on that line for the tape because I don't want full coverage on the black sides. I just want it to kind of waterfall, like be heavy and then waterfall down. So I am actually aiming it there, and then when I go back in to get a little bit of that waterfall, I'm aiming above all of that glitter I already laid down, just so it kind of cascades down and gives a real soft look. And then when I hit the tumbler to make the glitter fall off, I am leaving the tumbler a little diagonal, and then when you hit it, it falls a little bit softly as well. Peeled up all of that painter's tape and then rolled it in some notebook paper so that we can lay this glitter flat because it is pretty chunky. Took a paintbrush and tried to get off as much of that extra glitter on the vinyl that I could. And then I'm using this double-sided sticky tape sheets that I got on Amazon. I will link them down in the description box. They're okay. I haven't worked much with double-sided sheets like this before, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. So in my opinion, it was okay. It cut a little roughly, but it could just be my own personal setting, so I'm not sure. Don't hold me too accountable for this product. But I cut out a bunch of hearts. I did mostly solid hearts. I did do a few of these little sketchy hearts. I just got them all in my Silhouette Studio software, and I cut multiple sizes, and I just randomly placed them all over the tumbler, and then I peeled up the top cover sheet, and then we are going to use foil to apply right on those sticky hearts. The foil is from Artistic Painting Studio, and the coverage was really good. Once I got all those tapes on and applied the foil, it did transfer really well. Again, as I've mentioned before, I'm terrible with foil names, so I don't know which color this is, but you can use any gold or any color you want for this. So I covered all of those hearts. I tried to make sure that I wasn't missing any because I thought I got them all, but then I found an extra one. And then we are going to move into making sure that this little section stays down. So there's still no epoxy on here, but you can just barely see where it's lifted right there. And I knew, my luck, if I applied epoxy, it would be an issue. So I applied a little bit of UV resin, and then I'm just going to hold it flat, heat it with, or cure it with my UV lamp, and I held my finger there just long enough to make sure it was flat, and then I let it sit long enough to cure, and then it was perfect. It was flat. I applied a coat of epoxy. Actually, I think I did 2 thin coats because I wanted to make sure that it was nice and smooth, especially with that chunky glitter. And then I found this turquoise vinyl that I had in my stash. I think it's from 143 Vinyl. I'm not positive, but it's like a luster matte turquoise, and it matched perfectly. And then I lined both sides of that pattern vinyl with this turquoise, and then I have this ice film red from Hobby Lobby that I am obsessed with. I need to go buy like 3 or 4 sheets because they don't sell it in a roll yet, just individual sheets. But anyways, I cut the same hearts in the red ice film and just applied them randomly all around the tumbler as well. And then I did cut some super teeny tiny hearts, and I'm going to apply those on the portion where the black and the glitter are, just so it looks like they're also cascading down and up, in mixed in with the glitter as well. As you can see, I did go in and add an extra red stripe of vinyl to the top and the bottom. I just felt like it kind of helped break it up a little bit and add a little bit more color down in the gold portion. And then I did the same thing with this turquoise vinyl. I cut out the super teeny tiny hearts and added them in on the glitter side, so it looked like the red and the turquoise hearts were cascading in that glitter portion. I did end up adding too many, so I went back and took a few off. I didn't want it to be overpowering. I just wanted a little sprinkle of them. And then as well, I added turquoise hearts all over the tumbler. And then I really couldn't decide what I wanted it to say. I wanted it to have some kind of saying on there, but I at the same time didn't want to take away from how pretty this really looked. I love the little detail hearts, but I wanted it to say something. So I ended up going with Love Yourself. And now in hindsight, the love is kind of hard to read. It's a little small, but I am a creature of habit, and I really love the mixture of a cursive font and a bold font. So I liked the way it looked, but I think I would have done Love Yourself in the same font as Yourself, just so it was a little bit bolder and easier to read. But I still like the way it looks, but I just wanted it to just be a little reminder to love yourself. So I added that right there where there was a little opening of no hearts. And then I gave it 2 final coats of epoxy, and this beauty was all done. I love the way this one came out. It came out exactly like I pictured it in my mind. I love mixing texture, so the gold foil with the gold glitter against that pattern vinyl, and then the lustery matte vinyls. It all just works together so perfectly. Thanks y'all so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope y'all loved this video as much as I loved working on this beautiful tumbler. I will have it available over on my website if you want to snag this beauty. And as usual, I will leave all of the information where to find me and all the products that I use down in the description box. And just a fun little reminder, if you are feeling like joining a small intimate group where I do lives and giveaways and exclusive tutorials and a little more in-depth on things, then please join my mentorship group. I will leave that link also down in the description box, and I will see y'all next time.